When starting anything new in life, you have to start with a belief system. If you do not believe in yourself, or if you do not believe in the new thing that you're starting, if you do not believe in this, it's not going to work. It's not. I'm not saying everything will always go the way that you plan because we have lessons to learn and just setbacks at times. But that is all a part of growing into something new. If I told you that you could solve all of your problems right now by using one little step-by-step program, would you do it? Do you want to know what that is? One little step. That's all we have to do in life to keep us from having all of the things that we consider problems. This one little thing is easy. Are you ready? It's really a lot easier than what you think. Okay, all you have to do is stay present. Stay in the moment that we are living in right now. The only thing that exists is this moment we are living in. Conceptualize this. When I started talking just about a short bit ago, well, that moment is now gone and it does not exist. What I have said so far has either embedded into your memory or went in one ear and out the other. If you have it embedded into your memory, which is your mind, you now have made this conscious change, and now it's now a part of your new life. We only have this moment to live in. And if this is the truth and you're now aware, why do so many people hold themselves as a prisoner to their past? Why are they living the moment over and over in their head like it's currently happening? Why do some people focus on a future but never actively work towards obtaining that future in the moment? I believe too many people have taken all of the hurt and pain that has happened to them and found the only coping mechanisms that they knew how to move forward. Today is the day that you decide that you are no longer going to let your past ways of coping with situations be the way that you handle any future situations. You believe and know that there is a way to be truly yourself and that people will love you for it. You will no longer laugh off a situation and cry about it later. You will know how to experience the moment, feel the emotions from it, look at it from a higher standpoint. And when you can see things from your own higher perspective, you will start to understand that the situation is trying to show you rather than thinking about why this is happening to you. Once we learn what is being taught to us in our life, we can learn what works and doesn't work and refrain from repeating the same situations. You will be able to release any feelings or thoughts associated to the situation that no longer exists. If you do not release and you let it fester in your mind, that will not only hurt you by hindering yourself, it will cause some physical ailments in your life if you tuck that down far enough and never deal with it. Bad things happen in life. We do not ask for these things to happen, but bad things did happen to us in life and sometimes still does. When something bad happens in your life, we all do this. We tend to think that that was the worst thing that could have happened. We think that no one else will understand what we're feeling or why we're angry. Better yet, we tend to think that we're the only ones going through this type of situation. I can almost guarantee you that if you went through a bad time in your life, someone else or a lot of people have gone through similar situations and can relate to you. We're raised in a society where feelings are not regarded as our PowerPoint. This is so far from the truth that it's not even funny. Our feelings are our power. Our feelings show us confidence, courage, and happiness. Our feelings are what guide us to believe or not believe what we are seeing or hearing. When something bad happens, the first thing we tend to focus on is why. Why did I get beat as a child? Why were my parents mean? Why was I treated like I did not mean anything to my family? Why was I ignored like I do not even exist? Why can't they just be nice? When you ask all of the why questions, all you are doing is implicating something is wrong and that there is a reason for it. This is not always the truth. Wrong in a situation is from your own perspective. When we ask why and don't get the answers, we tend to dwell on it. We tend to replay those moments or think about those moments that happened to us and how they connect to the first. We keep ourselves tortured and stuck in our own minds. How long have you kept yourself stuck? Days, weeks, months, years? Have you been thinking about something in the past that has happened to you for years? You're giving the situation validation like it happened to you today when you hold it in your mind for so long. Most of us just want to be heard and validated for the bad things that happen to us. I hear you, sweetheart. I hurt with you, sweetie, over the things that happen. I also lend my love and support to help you through. And since we almost never get the answer to why something has happened, why do we let so much of our power go to something that doesn't exist? Where our thoughts go is what actually exists in life. When I was a child, I believed in Santa Claus. He was a magical man that delivered presents to good boys and girls all around the world. It happened by using magic. I was 5, my brother was 8, and one Saturday morning while watching cartoons, well, that phrase should have just told you how old I am, but it was December and we were sitting there and he says, "Hey, do you want to know a secret?" Me being 5 and not knowing any secrets at this point in my life, I'm like, "Yes." He looked at me with that mischievous look on his face and that crooked smile and says, "Santa isn't real." Oh, that broke my heart. Ooh, I started to cry. I was hurt because the magic of a mystical man who loved children and loved giving them presents did not exist. I realized my parents had lied to me. If they lied to me about this, how much more have they lied about? I cried to my mom, and I know she did her best to try to comfort me. Well, now that I have my own kids, I don't stress the fact that Santa is like watching you, but I do hang stockings each year that Santa comes and fills with goodies. My kids are young. They're older than, when I was 5, I learned that Santa wasn't real. My kids are older and still believe. They have their dad and grandmas and other aunts and uncles that talk about Santa and keep his spirit alive. My best friend, on the other hand, has a son same age as my oldest and has told him that there is no Santa Claus. She's told him that throughout his whole life. She sees it as never lying to her child like most of us do. She's also taught him about the value of money by the time he was 7. He earns an allowance and can buy things that he wants. He's been allowed to go in the store all alone and shop since he was 8. He has learned to be more responsible and trusting by the time he was 10 than some adults I have known. At this point, I'm going to be able to tell my children that the reason they heard that Santa Claus was real, because he is. Who can say he does or does not exist? His spirit lives in all of us. He is just a symbol of what is good, symbol of peace, love, harmony, and giving. Just because there may not be a man that exists doesn't mean that his legacy or his symbolism doesn't exist. To the parents and the families that want to show a loving Santa spirit at Christmas time, I welcome it. Just make sure your kids understand that when they find out Santa wasn't a real man, you can say, "You really don't know for sure because you've never met him." That doesn't mean that he doesn't exist. But make sure you do tell them and let them know the spirit of Christmas that does exist. I'm not trying to get into a debate about what is right or wrong or what you want to tell your children or about lying to our children about fictional characters. I'm simply trying to show you how our belief system was set long before we even had a choice about what we should believe. Our belief system was built on trust. When trust is broken, we no longer know what to believe. When we no longer know what to believe, we get confused. We get confused about who and what we can trust. Sometimes it can cause people to either trust everyone or no one at all. We tend to trust people based off of the number of times we know that we have been lied to. Most of our belief system that we have right now in our life comes from a very young age. From the ages of 0 to 6, our minds are in a hypnotized state and is taking everything in. Our minds are not forming our own opinions at this point. All our minds are doing is soaking up everything around us to know how to exist, to form opinions, and what to think. We are literally taking in all of our environment at that time. And again, not able to do anything other than input, just have it come in. So it's truly not our fault. In these programs that I'm making for you, I will discuss that our minds are a product of repetition. We have been repeating to ourselves ever since we were one. Think of the effects that your thoughts have had on you to this day. Have they all been good? And can you believe that it might not be easy, but you can change that 6-year-old inside of you's belief that the sun is yellow? When we went through school, we were not given the option to form our own thoughts. If we did, we were usually shunned as an outcast. We were taught what to think, we were taught what to learn, we were taught where to go, and when we had to be there. We were taught a lot of conformity and not a lot of individualness. And after school, some went to college, more teaching about what others think and what we need to know. The rest of us went to work, and again, we were taught about how to do our job or how things were run within a business. We're in a constant state of learning until we were about 20 years old. What did we learn in those 20 years? What does your belief system tell you today about how the world works and what this life is about? A lot of us learned how not to feel good about ourselves. We were compared to others. We look at buying things as satisfaction for our egos. If we like something, but our family or friends did not, did you continue liking your thing or did you give it up to fit in with others? How much of yourself has been sacrificed at the hands of a school system, a government, and a marketing system? Do you believe you are worthy? Do you believe you are loved? Do you believe that you got handed a crappy life? Do you believe that other people who are rich are lucky to be born the way that they were? Do you believe that money grows on trees, or do you believe that money is the root of all evil? Do you believe that the world is against you, or do you believe that there is good people and people are willing to help? There are so many beliefs that I could get into, but I'm not going to today. What is your belief system? I was taught, for example, that you had to work hard for your money and that life isn't easy. Well, I've spent my last 5 years before making this program proving to myself that life was not always the way that I was taught. In fact, my beliefs have changed so much over the past 10 years, I don't even remember who I was when I was part of the crowd. I am such an individual. And not only that, I have joy. That is a happiness that no one can take away from me. I have love. I am love. I have peace, and that was created by me over 5 years ago. Did it happen overnight? Oh, no. Did it happen easily? Somewhat. It did take work, but I can tell you that it all started with just my belief system. Did I believe that I could do it? My biggest flex in life is coming out of depression after losing my dad, my rock, my one to depend on, and the one who never judged me. He passed over unexpectedly when I was 8 months pregnant with the first baby for both sides of my family and my then husband's family. That was a time that I kept telling this story about him. I keep the situation alive by telling it. Because I say this over and over, it still holds truth to this day. Back when I had just had my baby, I was sitting on the couch and crying because I really missed my dad. My then husband came and sat beside me and said, he said, I know you're hurting and I know you miss your dad and I know you need help, but I don't have any help left in me for you. And then he got up and walked away. And that hurt. A hurt that I could have never imagined that I would have to go through after losing my dad, the only man who truly loved me in my eyes. Why I'm telling you this is because this is how I learned that we can not only change our belief systems, we can change our own mindset, our habit, and lifestyle if we choose to. Change doesn't happen overnight with our minds, and we do have to be aware of making the change, and it takes effort. Some people think we don't have a choice in life. You think you have to go to a job because no one will pay your bills. The thing is, you can lose that job and go get another one. You can go from working for someone else to being self-employed. No one is stopping you from making choices in your life that benefit you, but yourself. Try not to be so hard on yourself. Life has already done that for us. Now is the time to start with the belief and trust in yourself and what you can create with life. What I would like for you today is to write down a belief system that you were taught long ago, and right beside it, write down a new belief system that works for you. Here, start with one of these. Maybe say that you were taught that you had to work hard. And right beside it, you can say, I know that I don't have to work hard physically or mentally. I know that money can be made while I'm sleeping. I might not know how right now, but I can learn. The things that we were taught doesn't work for all of us, and there's no reason for us to be held back when we don't match with the rest. I believe the ones that did not fit in are the ones who will excel in life. They have a belief system that things need to be done by themselves, and they will get things done. Do you have that type of belief system? Do you believe everything you imagine or put your mind to can be accomplished? Well, I'm not only here to show you that that's possible, I'll show you how and guide you all the way through. Our beliefs are the most important thing in our minds. From our belief system comes our thoughts, habits, and actions. If our belief system is not in the right place, we will not be in alignment to manifest abundance and everlasting happiness. Well, that's all I have for you today on belief. I'm hoping I'll see you tomorrow with our next program. Much love to you all.